Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 6, the Understatement of the Year. Okay, this episode opens up in Salt Lake City. We're with Christine and her daughter, well, two of her daughters, McKelty and Aspen, and their husbands, Tony and Mitch. And we're doing have you ever been to those a wine and paint places? It's like that, only it's at Christine's house. They're all painting the same picture. It's for Valentine's Day. And yeah, I saw Aspen have a little wine. I didn't necessarily see Christine, but I think she's okay with wine now. I know the family didn't drink alcohol. That kind of didn't go along with their religious beliefs, but Christine's kind of a free agent now, so I don't know. She's free to do it, but I didn't see her drinking wine. But yes, they're all creating these Valentine pictures on canvas. So I can only assume that then she's going to drive them over to Robin's, who has a little bit of free wall space. Yeah, there's a spot behind the toilet, Christine. It's really bothering me. Yeah, but your toilet tank is there. The wall is not covered. I still need something there. Okay, we learned that Valentine's Day is not a very polygamous-friendly holiday. So in the past, they never really did much. In Janelle's confessional, she said, I don't really have plans for Valentine's Day. Cody and I aren't really communicating right now. And even if we were, I really would want to spend it with him. Or the family, she said. I can only assume she means Robin's family because that's really the only family that's still, there in Flagstaff. In Robin's confessional, she said, Valentine's Day is a tricky holiday for plural families. And this year is just hard and complicated and horrible. What are you talking about? This is the least complicated year for Valentine's Day. It's just you and Cody. You could do whatever you want and no one would know. Go out on a date. He could buy you a dirt bike. No one else would know. Poor Mary. I hate that I keep saying poor Mary, but, I guess it's partly her fault for not leaving, she just seems so pathetic. But in Mary's, she said, I'm not doing a damn thing for Valentine's Day. Listen, you've got to have a Valentine to celebrate Valentine's Day. I just want to say, do you hear yourself? What are you doing? Why are you still there? In Christine's confessional, she said, sometimes Cody would have flowers for all the wives, and he would give them to us in front of everybody. We actually see a flashback to him doing that one year. And she said, so I should be more sympathetic to Cody, but I'm not. This year he just has Robin, so that should be easy. That's what I said. And then she goes, oh, that was snarky. That was rude. But she also loves it. They're sitting around painting, and Christine tells them that she has been talking with a professional matchmaker. She's very nervous. She says, I want a bald guy with tattoos who drives a motorcycle. So, in other words, Cody's opposite. She wants him to have a good sense of humor, funny, a good communicator. Again, Cody's opposite. In her confessional, she's like, I want to get everything out right from the beginning. I'm 50 years old. I was a plural wife who went public. I have 6 kids, 3 grandchildren. She just wants to get everything out so that there's no surprises, which I actually understand that. I would be kind of the same way. But the matchmaker said, okay, let's just start with you're female, you're 50, and you have some children. She's like, okay. She also tells them that she's going for monogamy this time, which surprises no one. And Tony said, have you concluded that plural marriage doesn't work? And Christine said, for me, it doesn't. She doesn't want to say she regrets being in a plural marriage because, it gave her all her children and Janelle and Janelle's kids. So she wouldn't trade that, but yeah, it doesn't work for her. And look, I think that's been obvious for a long time. Well, for as long as they've been filming anyway, which is basically how long Robin's been in the picture. Because I think prior to Robin, Christine was the bright and shiny toy for Cody, right? She was the new wife, and I don't know, I think she certainly seemed more interested in him than Janelle ever did. So maybe she got the attention she needed from Cody before Robin came along. So maybe she was kind of used to being the favorite wife. I don't know. I don't know if that's fair to say. I don't know if Christine was. But all I know is she felt very displaced when Robin came around. And it was hardest on her than any of the wives. Anyway, now the kids are advising her that she needs to go on several dates. Like, don't just pick the first guy. Although, seriously, I feel like David Woolley, is that her boyfriend's name? It feels like he was the first guy she ever dated. And now they're like engaged. So I don't think she took their advice, but at the time of this Valentine's Day painting party, they're telling her, go on lots of dates. Tony's like, yeah, you got to try all the ice cream flavors. And Christine goes, did you try all the ice cream flavors, Tony? And McKelty, his wife, said, he did, Mom. He went through all the flavors twice before settling on me. Ew. Okay. So now Christine talks about how she was married to a man who wasn't attracted to her and how difficult that was. Side note, I'm not sure she should be talking to her daughters about this. I know they're adults. This just feels like a weird conversation to have with your adult daughters and their husbands about how your dad was never attracted to me, you know? Maybe save that one for the therapist or your girlfriends. Anyway, McKelty said, and I don't get that because you're gorgeous. In her confessional, Christine said that part of the reason why she left is because she didn't want to show her daughters that it was okay to be treated like that from their husband. That Cody's behavior to her was unacceptable. She didn't want them to think it was okay. She also tells us that Cody is the only person she ever kissed, and now she's afraid she's not good at it or anything. She leaves that a little vague, thankfully. I mean, look, you can't be too bad at it because a man who's not even attracted to you had 6 children with you. You must be doing something right. Anyway, she's nervous and scared but excited to start dating, and she loves how supportive her children are. Next, Janelle tells us in her confessional that she's going to meet Cody for the first time since their big fight before Christmas. Again, she seems to be recording this from her phone. What's going on with production? Like, do they only film part of the scenes? Why is that? I could understand Christine's scenes being filmed, on her phone just because she's off in Salt Lake City. But Janelle's right there in town in Flagstaff. You can't spare a camera guy? Also, Janelle still hasn't taken my advice and bought a tripod. Girl, they're fairly inexpensive. It would be nice to just allow you to back up a little, not have everybody like staring up your nostrils. That's all I'm saying. Just give it a couple more inches. Anyway, she tells us that in the past when she and Cody would have an argument, the next time he would come over, they just kind of smoothed it over without resolving anything. She doesn't want to do that anymore. It is not working for her. She said she wants more out of a relationship. Someone who doesn't need more out of a relationship, we now check in with Mary. She is in Parowan at her inn, the B&B that she, what's it called? Lizzie's Heritage Inn or something like that. Anyway, she is there with her best friend Jen is there, and the two of them are discussing like the future plans that Mary has to move her LuLaRoe business there to Parowan. Jen, if you recall, is the one who's been running the inn for Mary while she's in Flagstaff doing who knows what, I don't know, just reminding Cody and Robin that she still exists, I think. Nobody really knows why Mary is still in Flagstaff. Neither does Mary at this point. Anyway, she shows Jen something. She goes, oh, I have something to show you. And Jen goes, is it for me? No, it is not for you, Jen. Sorry. It just felt like that was a little awkward. No, she just wanted to show her that one of the guests that had stayed there left a pillow that they had made with a picture on it of Mary and her mom, Bonnie. If you recall, Bonnie used to run the inn. She passed away a year ago. Sweet idea, slightly creepy. I mean, not, it just felt a little stalker-ish, maybe. No, you know what? I take that back. It was very sweet of somebody to do that. Anyway, they're sitting down, and Mary said that she hadn't told Robin yet that she was moving her business to Parowan. And Jen goes, okay, so it's official? You're moving the LuLaRoe for roll? Yes, she is. Side note, am I missing something? Isn't it all like mail order? Does it matter where she fills the orders from? I feel like it's not going to be that big of a deal. I'm sorry, not that big of a deal to move her business. I think it's just a matter of, like, she's got to warehouse all the inventory or something. She needs a place to keep all the crap. Maybe that's why we don't get to go in her giant house. 90% of it is filled with colorful leggings. So maybe that's what the whole thing is. Or possibly there's some licensing thing. She is moving her business to another state. Maybe that's going to be an issue. I don't know enough about that, but it seems like it should be easy, is all I'm saying. Anyway, bestie extraordinaire Jen is also going to help with the LuLaRoe business during school hours, because I guess Jen has still some school-age kids. I hope she's paying her well, because I feel like she relies on her a lot. Oh, we get a little confessional of Jen's now. She said that she and Mary met. Well, she goes, we've been best friends for about 10 years now. We met when she hired me to be a professional killer. So I was murder for hire for a few years, and we just maintained our friendship from that. Okay, well, Jen explains her very funny joke. Jen used to own an exterminating business back in Las Vegas. I wonder how she ended up in Parowan, right? I mean, did she move there just for Mary? I don't know. Anyway, Jen used to own a pest control company, and Mary had hired her in Vegas. She said she did all the houses, I think. And they became friends through that. I mean, geez, how often did she have her out? Like, we have a pest control guy too, but I can't see becoming best friends with him. Now I feel bad because I barely say anything to him. I say hello, he does what he needs to do. We exchange very few words, and I don't know that will ever develop into us being best friends. But, you know, maybe one day, Steve. I just made up that name because, you guys, I don't even know his name. That's how little I know our pest control guy. So, yeah, Mary is nervous about telling Robin and Cody, I guess. Essentially, what Mary is really afraid of is that when she tells Cody that she moved her business, that he's going to jump for joy. That's what I think. I think she's afraid that he's immediately going to get really excited and happy. What she says is that she hopes that she and Cody can get their marriage back to a place where it's a good marriage relationship. And she's afraid that he's going to interpret her moving the LuLaRoe business to Utah as a sign that she's giving up on the relationship. So, I mean, I wasn't wrong. I don't think she's afraid that he's going to be upset that it looks like she's giving up on the relationship. I think she's afraid he's going to be happy that it looks like she's giving up on the relationship. Side note, are she and Jen in LuLaRoe like head to toe? Because I feel like they chose the same pants to wear today. All right, next we're back with Janelle, and she tells us that she has an appointment with Cody. An appointment. Oh, it's the way you describe any place you have to go that you're not looking forward to, right? I have a doctor's appointment. I have a dentist appointment. I have a Cody appointment. She tells us that she kind of misses him, but not really. Like, she's not pining for him. Well, they meet at apparently the only restaurant that Cody will go to when lunching with wives he's having trouble with, Salsa Brava. When Cody arrives, he is clearly doing what Janelle said they always do after a fight. He's like, hey, how's it going? Smiling at her. You gonna give me a hug? She stands up and hugs him. I don't know, other than him bristling at the fact that there's ice water on the table. Ooh, ice water. It's winter. People don't just drink hot water in winter. Or ever, really. Unless they're on some kind of a cleanse. Maybe that's it. Or, as I said before, he's trying to become... Look, he needs to know where his money's coming from. He might see the writing on the wall. Maybe this show's ending. He's looking for his next gig. I think he wants to be on a Real Housewives franchise. Beverly Hills, maybe. They don't have any in Arizona, so the nearest would be either Orange County or Beverly Hills. And, he's starting right now with just ordering hot water and lemon. It's a very Lisa Rinna thing to do. So anyway, Cody's just making some awkward small talk, and then he finally says, so, it didn't go so well the last time we talked. And Janelle goes, well, that's an understatement. Then we get to replay the highlights of the fight yet again. I mean, look, the fight was amazing, but TLC is milking it for all it's worth. We are going to see it for every which way from every camera angle over and over again, I think. Cody falls back on how his divorce with Christine is affecting the whole family, his relationships with his other wives and his kids. He realizes that he's transmuting his grief into anger and that he's not a safe place for Janelle to have a conversation. Okay, well, that realization is actually a good thing. He's taking responsibility for the fight. He's saying that he thinks because he was so angry. I mean, of course, he wants to blame it all on Christine, but whatever. His anger at Christine was making it so that he wasn't receptive to having a good conversation with Janelle. That's not bad. I can at least appreciate that he's acknowledging his mindset, but that's only half the battle. Now I would like to know how he plans on correcting that. Because he can't blame Christine forever. And also, just before I move on from that point, I'm not praising him for taking responsibility, because he doesn't do that. I'm just appreciating that he understands that the way he was made it difficult for Janelle to have a conversation with him. What I don't like is that he's saying the way I was is Christine's fault. So he's not, nothing's his fault. He's just acknowledging that his mindset made it so that it wasn't fair to Janelle. Janelle doesn't appreciate it as much as I did, because in her confessional, she's like, oh my God. Well, my relationship with you was crap because I'm so angry about my divorce. Well, grow up, be a man. Separate your relationships like you have your whole life and pay attention here. So there's some more awkward silence. Cody's just perusing the menu. I mean, if he doesn't have it memorized by now, he certainly will when he takes Mary there, provided he cares enough about Mary to have an awkward lunch with her. Anyway, Janelle said, I do think that I want to stay separated for now. And Cody goes, you do? Really? He tells us in his confessional that he's surprised that Janelle doesn't want to try and reconcile. He said that they've been separated in the past 2 or 3 times. And in any of those 2 or 3 times, Cody never thought that he was the problem. He always thought it was problems that she was having with her sister wives. Janelle at the table tells him that she's really willing to do some counseling if, they can find someone. And Cody goes, well, that's more fair than Christine was. She just left. Dude, get over it. I would say get over her, but this is not about Christine. This has nothing to do with Christine. He didn't even really like Christine. This is about the fact that someone, a woman, left him. And probably partly because he was blindsided by it. He's shocked that anyone would leave him. This is this is his ego, right? Janelle goes, I just know that I need to be separate for now. And he said, okay, Janelle. I mean, I still have a lot of affection for you, so maybe some counseling. And he goes, other than me blowing up over, feeling rejected that you guys were doing Christmas without me. And she goes, well, Cody, Christine and I didn't do Christmas together, right? And he goes, yeah, but a couple days after, it was still a celebration. And Janelle goes, okay, this is where we need to tread lightly without a third party present, Cody. I didn't know what to do about my boys. And Cody goes, All I have to do is have a conversation with them. I don't want to just act like nothing happened. Then he goes off on this tangent about Christine leaving him, and she was planning it for a long time, and she told everybody. She told the kids, and she told Janelle. Everyone but Cody knew she was leaving. In Janelle's confessional, she goes, every time Cody talks about Christine leaving, it always shocks me because he purports that he never saw this coming. He's been telling me for years that he's not attracted to Christine. They were struggling in their marriage. I would have left him the first time he said that to me. I would have. So Cody tells Janelle that he's not going to be angry with her anymore, and if she wants to stay separate for now, that's fine. He's not going to be accusatory because he knows that he's just morphing his grief. Janelle says, for the last month or so, I've been vacillating between I never want to see you again to I don't know, let's figure it out. I do not know how to reconcile with you. Cody, you haven't spoken to Savannah in 6 weeks. Not at Christmas or anything. This takes him by surprise. He's like sputtering. We cut to his confessional where he said, when Janelle and Christine kicked me out of their houses, they separated me from the environment in which I knew my children. What? What are you talking about? Millions of people get divorced. Millions of fathers figure out a way to still see their kids, even though it isn't in the house they grew up in. What are you talking about? I have never heard an excuse quite like this one. Because they kicked him out of the house, he didn't know how to have a relationship with his kids outside of that environment. Wow. And of course, he blames Christine and Janelle for his not seeing his kids, or calling them, or texting them, or mailing them a Christmas present. Cody, I'm sitting here trying to survive my heartbreak while they play Mean Girls together. And that is probably one of the biggest things that are just sticking in his craw, that Christine got Janelle in the divorce. He hates that. Because then all of Janelle's kids are taking Christine's side. It's like he would have liked Christine to just leave and everybody else in the family rally around him, including Janelle and their 6 kids. Because apparently, because Christine left, he wrote off her children as well, which, again, also his children. But because they are spawn of the woman that left him, he doesn't know how to have a relationship with them anymore. Anyway, this next part I feel like is probably going to have been talked about a lot before you're seeing this video, but I just watched this last night, so still very fresh in my mind. Cody actually says in his confessional with a straight face, so Janelle doesn't love me. I think she thinks I'm hot. I got nice pecs, great 6-pack abs, but that's all she's interested in. Oh, I assure you, she is not even interested in that. I don't think Janelle's been like, she says she's attracted to him, but I don't think Janelle has needed him in that way in years. I don't think she's interested in that. I don't think she cares that much. I love that he thinks he's just a sex object to Janelle. That I think is pretty funny. In Janelle's confessional, clearly the producers are telling her what he said, and she goes, whoa, you are way off. There's much more to a marriage than physical attraction. We're in danger here. Yeah, anyway, so back to Salsa Brava. After he's like, sputtering, he doesn't know what to say about Savannah. What he says is that he's been conducting a lot of business in the evenings. And, he doesn't have time to spend with Savannah after school. Okay. Yeah, that explains about 1/10 of what the problem is. Because you're not addressing Christmas at all. In his confessional, he said, almost all my interactions with Robin's children are because I'm with Robin and interacting with her children. Huh? Yeah, we know. That's the point. You're always at Robin's, where she and her kids are. If you would just spend time at Janelle's, you would also be spending time with Savannah. Yeah, we get it. You're just not doing it. Oh, I get it. He's claiming that because Janelle kicked him out after the big fight, like if she didn't, he would be interacting with Savannah because he'd be over there. He said, I would see Savannah every 2 nights because it would be 2 nights at Robin's, 2 nights at Janelle's, 2 nights at Robin's, 2 nights at Janelle's. Sorry, Mary. You are not in the rotation, girl. Yeah. It's because Cody doesn't know how to see his kids unless he's in their house. That is so stupid. Oh, God. Cody brings up COVID again. Janelle says it is not about that. It's this notion that the boys need to apologize to Robin. In Robin's confessional, she said, I know one of Cody and Janelle's issues is this apology. I never asked for one. I never wanted one. And I didn't even know Cody was asking for one. I mean, that could be true, actually. I think she manipulates Cody. So I don't think she outright told Cody, I need an apology. I think she just was sad and whined and dry cried and said that she was hurting. And that prompted Cody to say, the boys need to apologize to Robin. You know, I don't think she asked for it. I think she sort of manipulated him into asking for one. Okay, now it was transmute in the word of the day calendar for Cody because he's using it for a second time now. I guess I should just be happy he's moved on from gaslight. Anyway, he said Garrison called Robin and blamed her for the COVID rules. That's a weird thing to transmute onto someone who was just being compliant with what I was saying we needed to do to keep the family safe. And Janelle goes, it's about you being a father to all of your kids and a husband to all of your wives. Cody, but I'm not respected by all. And Janelle goes, I don't know, Cody. I don't know how we come back from this. I mean, do you really still want to be in a plural family? Sometimes I can't tell. Okay, before we get that answer, we cut back to Parowan. We're going to check out this carriage house that is filled with junk that Mary needs to clean out because that's where she's going to store all her new junk. All the LuLaRoe leggings that she can stuff in there. They do open the doors. Honestly, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in there, but it looks clean. I envisioned everything being like cobwebs and rusty and like, I don't know, animal carcasses. It's not, though. It looks clean, just like packed to the gills with stuff. Jen comes up with a great idea. Why don't you just move it all into a storage unit? That is not a great idea. Mary says it is. I say it's not. Some of the stuff that's packed in there is like 25 folding chairs and folding tables, stuff like that, because Mary has apparently been holding some events at the B&B. Let me just say this. How does it make sense to store all of those chairs and everything off-site in a storage unit? You're just going to drag all that stuff over every time there's an event? Is it that there aren't that many events, maybe 1 or 2 a year or something? That it doesn't make sense to have that stuff off-site, is what I'm saying. And also, the rest just is you really want to pay for storage every month? Why don't you just leave it all there and get a storage unit for your LuLaRoe stuff? I feel like I'm not really understanding this whole thing. Like, I think you should just purge everything. If you need the money from these events, then the chairs and tables, the things that you need for the events should stay on site, in my opinion. Now Mary reflects on the fact that there's really no reason for her to stay in Flagstaff, except for the fantasy that Cody will want her again one day. But she has big plans for Lizzie's Heritage Inn. She wants to host more events, weddings. She wants to build a commercial kitchen, have garages, that kind of thing. Okay, then don't move the stuff off site. Maybe it's just temporary until she builds more things there on site. I don't know. Okay, now we cut back to Salsa Brava. Janelle has asked Cody, do you even still want a plural family? Because sometimes I don't know. Well, Cody doesn't even like being asked that. He goes into this whole big thing about he's had the weight of Atlas on his shoulders alone. And just because he's been a little cynical lately doesn't mean he doesn't want a plural family. In his confessional, he goes, what has Janelle done to help things? She hasn't been living plural marriage. She's been living independence from a husband that's there when she wants something and has resources that she gets. Like what? She doesn't want your pecs and your washboard abs, which I feel like I've seen him change clothes, and I'm not sure there really is a six-pack. I would need some confirmation on that. Anyway, Janelle tells him that she thinks he just wants to live at Robin's. Well, he doesn't want to live in your tiny apartment. He has made that abundantly clear. And where else is he going to go? Mary's? Sorry, Mary. He says it's just since COVID that he's been spending so much time at Robin's. Janelle says quit blaming COVID. It's bigger than that. Cody says, I felt like I wasn't being supported in what I was trying to do to keep our family safe. Janelle said, yeah, but we all had children at different stages, and you couldn't be accommodating. And that's the real issue, right? Robin's kids were younger. She didn't have kids that needed to be at work or, that were dating anyone, I guess. Plus, Robin is gypsy rosing her kids into not having lives of their own or ever, growing and developing as adults. She has put the kibosh on that. They are going to remain babies who depend on her. Just my opinion. And Cody goes, I felt an obligation to the little ones because of their needs. Janelle, I felt that was all you saw were the little children. You became so hyper-focused on the needs of the little children that you stopped seeing the needs of all your children. Whoa. Yeah. Then we get a confessional from Mary out of the blue. Cody's always been attentive to his kids, especially when they were little. What he doesn't realize is that he should still nurture those relationships as they get older as well. Okay, Mary, I see you. Mary may have a personal stake in that as well, if stuff I'm reading about is true or has any validity, and I don't know that it does, but if, stuff that I'm hearing is true, it doesn't seem like Cody has much of a relationship with Leon or any relationship maybe with them. So I don't know. I hope that's not true. So now Cody says to Janelle, Gabe and Garrison are adults now. They can make their own choices. I just had to protect the babies. I wish that Solomon and Ariella had the same value to the whole family that they see other people have. Oh my God. That has to be right out of Robin's mouth, right? That nobody cares about Robin's kids. Janelle was furious with that. She goes, see, now statements like that are very dangerous because you assume a lot. I wish everyone valued Saul and Ariella the way they value other people. There's a lot of judgment there. That's when I feel like we need a counselor. Cody, it doesn't matter so much now, but, I felt like I was being gaslit. Hey, that was last week's word. Come on. He felt like he was being lied to. Cody said that he feels like he gave a lot to his kids when they were younger, still a lot when they were older, but when they were older, he felt less obligation to them. Janelle says, we're going in circles here. Cody, you're acting like I didn't want to be around you, Janelle, and that's not true. In Janelle's confessional, she said, I never needed a lot from Cody, but if he doesn't feel the desire to be a father to our children because they disagree with him, that changes the cost-benefit equation for me. Yikes. So now Cody talks about plural monogamy, which may or may not be a phrase that he just made up. It's when you're not functioning as one big family, but multiple families. Each family has no interaction with the other. They just share a husband. Well, that's the way the Browns have been functioning since this show came on the air 18 seasons ago. Separate homes, that started in season 1. Now, this is interesting part of Cody's confessional. He says, Janelle's not interested in reconciling with Mary, which I can understand. I'm not sure if I can reconcile with Mary, but she's not interested in a relationship with Robin at all. So it would just be me at Janelle's house and me and Robin's house, and these two families wouldn't interact at all. Yeah, well, two thoughts. One, sorry, Mary. Really sorry. That is going to hurt when you hear this back. It just is hurtful. I'm sorry. And two, Janelle is the one pushing for you to pay off Coyote Pass so that you can build on that. Like, two houses right next to each other. Or I seem to remember Janelle being the only wife who was really on board with you building one big house for everybody. Now, as circumstances have shaken out, I guess it's a pretty damn good thing you didn't build that house, because you wouldn't need it anymore, and you'd have a hard time selling a house structured that way. 4 kitchens and 4 living rooms and, like that kind of thing. But Janelle is the only one who wants to build on Coyote Pass, because Robin doesn't. She's happy in her McMansion. She does not want to uproot the kids again. And even though interaction between the families would be much more likely to happen on Coyote Pass, living right next door to each other, than it does now living, 20 minutes away from each other? I don't know, but I know they're not that close to each other. So I don't know how you want Janelle to be interacting right now. Robin has you so convinced that she's a victim and her children are ostracized that your eyes aren't even open enough to see that. What effort does Robin make? Does Robin pop over at Janelle's ever? No. So I don't know what you expect out of Janelle is my point. I'm just saying Janelle was the biggest supporter of living together in one place on Coyote Pass. So, don't blame her. Okay, back at Salsa Brava, Janelle tells Cody, I'm not leaving, but I just need this separation to figure it out. And Cody said, can you tell me what this separation is? Like, what are you going to get out of this? And Janelle said, it's easier for me to focus on what I need when you're not around. We need a redefinition. I'm not even 100% sure we can save this. I don't have any kind of estate or anything, Cody. I have nothing in my name. And Cody goes, you have all that property. Yeah, that you and Robin seem to be in no hurry to pay off, even though the clock is ticking. I think she has every right to believe that they might lose it. Now, side note, again, this was filmed over a year ago, the beginning of 2022. So we know a couple things. We know that he and Janelle are over. We know that they do still own Coyote Pass, so they must have paid it off. But they have done nothing to it. There's been no building happening. So I hope that he either bought out Janelle and Mary, because they are now officially separated as well. And Mary had money tied up in Coyote Pass too, right? In Janelle's confessional, she said, Cody moved heaven and earth to get Robin into that house. They kept all their crap in U-Hauls for months. They lived in it as a short-term rental, and then they bought it. And she's like, I'm sitting here, I'm stuck. In Cody's confessional, he said, Janelle has the same assets as me. Robin's house isn't an asset. It's the bank's asset. We have to house our kids for another 15 years in that house. No, you don't. Hold up. 2 of them, maybe. Saul and Ari, but Dayton, Brianna, Aurora, I'm sorry. The time of this filming, Dayton is 22, Aurora's 19, Brianna, I think, is 17. So, for context, Garrison is 23 and Gabe is 20. And Cody wanted Janelle to kick them out during COVID because they had to go to work, told them to get their own place. And Savannah's younger than Aurora. So another 15 years until Dayton's 37? You need to be in that house? No. You could move into a much smaller house today for just the 4 of you. You, Robin, Saul, and Ari. You could get a cute little 3-bedroom. You do not need to be in that giant house filled with artwork. That's what was in the U-Hauls, right? It was all her paintings. Knickknacks, paintings, plaques. Okay, so Janelle is pretty panicky about money. And in Cody's confessional, he goes, "This sounds like it's just about money for Janelle. Have I always just been a resource for you?" Well, that and eye candy, because you're hot. But also, no, Cody. More accurately, I think Janelle has been a resource for the family. Let's not forget, she was a breadwinner. But yeah, if I can't provide everything, I'm of no value to you. Now, like I said, clearly the producers are telling each other what the other person said in their confessionals. And since this show is 90% confessionals, I understand the producers have to kind of let the other one know what's happening. So they've clearly let Janelle know that Cody said that. And Janelle goes, "Oh my hell. It's wild, the disconnect here." Back at Salsa Brava, Cody goes off again about complaining about Christine. And Janelle's like, over it. She goes, "Yeah, I can't really help you with that, Cody." And that makes Cody mad, that Janelle doesn't want to hear him bitch about Christine. And he said, "Oh, you think when she starts dating, she's not going to vomit all over the place about her divorce?" Yeah, I don't think she's going to do that. Mostly because she's not still hung up on her ex like you are. But also because she would never get a second date. If she just was talking nonstop about you. But maybe realize that your other wives are not the person you should be complaining to. That's not going to make them feel great if you care. I mean, what is your point anyway? That Christine has someone to talk to about this stuff and you don't? I'm sure Robin listens. She herself is still trying to figure out what went wrong. So now he's trying to get Janelle to admit that they had some good times when they were living in Las Vegas. And she's like, "Yeah, there were good times." And he goes, "I was spouting poetry. I was following you around. And she goes, "I know." In her confessional, she goes, he's like, "We had a good time when we were living in Las Vegas for a couple of years." Yeah, but that doesn't excuse what's happening right now. In Cody's confessional, he goes, "Janelle denies this, but I had a renaissance with Janelle in Las Vegas." What? Oh, did we all miss it? How was it not on the show? He's spouting poetry and following her around like a puppy dog? I don't recall that. Janelle said, "I mean, I miss you, honey. I miss you. But I don't want to sweep this all under the rug and just move on." Yeah, like a couple of alcoholics who don't remember what they were fighting about the night before. Remember when Cody made that remark? So in Janelle's confessional, and I'm going to preface this by saying I'm going to try not to vomit. She says, "I do miss Cody. We had a lot of great conversations. I miss him in my bed. I miss him in my house. I miss him." You miss what he was, not what this is, She does end by saying, "But I want to be treated the way I deserve to be treated." So I'm happy about that. And of course, I know that she's not with him now today, but it's just, it hurts to hear her talking like that. So anyway, they're wrapping things up at Salsa Brava and they're ready to go. And Janelle said, "Well, this went better than I expected." And Cody goes, "What did you think was going to happen? That I wouldn't want to hug you and I wouldn't want to kiss you on the lips when I saw you?" Oh, Jesus, I just ate. I just had the burrito plate. Come on, man. He goes, "We're simple. Christine and I, that was very complicated. But you and I, it's simple. It's weird to be going through a divorce with one wife while you're having a relationship with another wife." In his confessional, Cody said, "Well, Janelle thought it went better than expected, but I expected to reconcile right there in the private room at Salsa Brava. But Janelle's enjoying her freedom too much, so she wants to stay separated." Maybe you should ask yourself why Janelle doesn't feel free when she's married to you, or why she enjoys being separated from you more. Maybe those are some questions to ponder with good old Robin. We end with Janelle's confessional, and she said, if he wanted it, we could work on it, but he doesn't. And I don't want to put the effort in because I think there's something better out there for me. Yeah. It's sad, but it's true. And in a way, it's, not sad because I feel like Janelle moving on with her life is a good thing. She'll be more fulfilled than she probably has been in many years, and hopefully happier. And yeah, that is it for episode 6. I hope you liked this recap. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please consider doing so. And if you click on the bell icon, you'll be notified every time I post something new here on my channel. Don't forget, if you're an Amazon shopper, click on any one of the links that I have down below to Amazon. You don't have to buy that thing, but whatever you purchase, I will get a small percentage as an Amazon associate. So I appreciate that. And for those of you who are doing it, thank you so much. It's really helping. I appreciate you. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.